this is a great opportunity for a lot of central banks to be given possibly revised mandates. When inflation targeting came into existence, there was quite a bit of discussion for some while about the idea of so-called nominal GDP targeting, and for various practical, also conceptual reasons, it was never really supported by many. And I used to have some doubts myself, but I think the environment has become quite worthy of serious consideration, especially where governments award the central banks what their mandate should be. And this would be applicable to the UK. What one might argue the US is in some way sort of pursuing some de facto nominal GDP targeting. But I think the environment has come where this is what a lot of central banks should do. And if they did, it wouldn't guarantee a V-shaped recovery, but it would certainly increase the probability of one. It would scare a lot of Treasury officials, and certainly those that move between the bank and the Treasury tend to be very cautious by nature, and a lot of people are very proud of what's happened with inflation targeting. But as we've seen now and in 2008, when really big things happen, a lot of conventional economists and the way they think in an inflation targeting type framework aren't really relevant for dealing with the challenge. And I think because we have, in addition, quite a long period of persistent inflation undershooting, I think it is something that should be considered. And I do suspect there are some people around the Treasury that are probably thinking about things like this. And I know from the piece I wrote that somebody in Australia who has a lot of influence on thinking is also now talking about the same thing there, and in a number of other places. So I suspect they will be very cautious, and a lot of people are trying to oppose it because thinking that in fact we might end up with inflation as a result of all this policy stimulus. But it's something that I think is much more worthy of consideration than I would have thought a few years ago.